Alright, now for some reason people assume that the Golden Knights are gonna have another magical run this year, but you know, I hate to tell you bandwagon fans out there that it's not gonna happen because I don't even know how they fucking made the playoffs last year. I don't even know how they won 3 playoff series. And I'm still so unbelievably shocked at that. But if you look realistically now, like, what is their defense? Who is the guy who's going to give you 30 minutes a game? Or at least, who is your guy? Shea Theodore, I think, will be that guy, but he's not that guy now. I love Shea Theodore, but he is not. He is not Erik Karlsson. He's not Doughty or Burns or even just. I honestly think that they have the worst defense core in the entire league. And they were completely built off of one thing last year, and that was speed. And it was speed and Fleury make a whole bunch of saves. And I don't see a magical run happening again. I see them actually last in the division. Probably one of the worst teams in the league. Now, I know they did add Pacioretty. They lost Neal, though, so that's pretty much still a loss because Neal is better than Pacioretty. You added Stastny, but Stastny is getting up there in age, man. That guy's not in his prime. He's a good player, but I still think that they're going to suck, even though they have a good player with Stastny. And I remember when the Oilers made the playoffs a few years ago, when McDavid made the playoffs for the first time, they were talking about it the next year, or last season, that everyone on the Oilers had a career year that year. Like, all of them, except for, like, a few. They all had career years. So, obviously, that's not realistic to happen again. And if you look at the Golden Knights, Howla had 30 goals. Carlson had 40. Marchessault had a really good year. I think a career year probably for him. Smith. All of them had career years. All of them. And you can't count on all of them to have career years again because it's just unrealistic. And they also didn't really have any injuries other than Fleury near the beginning of the year. And another thing, I just think that their management is really fucking stupid. You traded a first, I think it was a first, a second, and a fourth for Tatar, and then you ended up trading him with Nick Suzuki what was it, a second rounder? I can't remember, but basically, you are now down a first, a second, or first 2 seconds, I think, a fourth, Thomas Tatar, Nick Suzuki, and now you have Max Pacioretty. That's dumbass management. That's not, that's just, there's no excuse for that. That's fucking stupid. And, I don't understand why their management does that when, and I can't remember the GM's name. I know I have his face right in my memory, but for some reason I can't remember. So, yeah, also, they were in the perfect situation. You could have made it to the finals. You bring in all these fans in Vegas. You have a fan base, and then you can rebuild from there, trade, all those contracts away, get all these young guys, and then in a few years be really good again and still have that fan base. But you're just fucking your future, man. No Suzuki, no picks, old players, no defense, an old goalie. This is just a disaster waiting to happen. And I know for some reason everyone who doesn't know anything about hockey all of a sudden becomes the biggest Golden Knights fans ever. When I don't think people realize that if they did win, yes, it would be a cool story, but that would not be good for the league. That would be horrible for the league. Because some fucking random team of, guys who no one else wanted won a fucking Stanley Cup. Like, that would not be good for the NHL. So, to get to the fucking point, I don't think that they're that good. I think that they had an unbelievably lucky year last year. Everyone had career years, like I said. It's unrealistic for that to happen again. We saw it with the Oilers 2 years ago and last year. It's going to be the exact same scenario. I'd bet money on that they missed the playoffs. And, yeah. It's just not, like, people acting as if they're the fucking model of the NHL. No. The teams like the Blackhawks and, I'd say Detroit, those are the models of the NHL. Those are the franchises that you want your franchise to run like them.